Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another episode. This is a Coffee with Khalipa, just a short format podcast where we dive into something I'm thinking about this week. And for the month of March, we're doing something a little bit different on the podcast. So we had these Coffee with Khalipas. We did them for a long time. Then we went more long format. And for the month of March, we're just trying out this idea of situations in my life that have made a big impact and lessons I've learned through them. So week one, it was a little bit more personal. Week two is a little bit more business focused. And this week is a little CrossFit Games action for you guys. And this definitely left a lasting impression on me that I never forgot. And it really was a kind of a turning point, I'd say, from a CrossFit perspective on my competitive career. So early on, competing in CrossFit, I competed professionally in the sport of CrossFit from 2008, that was my first year, through 2016. And during that time, competed a lot in a lot of events and had a lot of fun, learned a lot. But the second year, so the first year I competed in the CrossFit Games, I actually won that year. And it was local to me in Aromas, California, about 45 minutes. And at the time, I'd been doing CrossFit about a year. And one of our coaches was like, dude, we should go do this. And, the events lined up for me. I was as prepared as I can get. At the time, the competition didn't have as many people, and I ended up winning. So the reason why I'm sharing that is because it lays context for year two. So year two comes around, and this is a 2009 CrossFit Games. And at the time, I was the current champion. And we're getting ready for the events, and they had announced a few of them. Dave had announced a few events, but we didn't know everything. But the first event was a 7K. I'd like to think of it a lot longer than 7K. Hill run, they called it, but it was more of like a mountain climb is the best way for the way that I describe it. And 3, 2, 1, go starts. And I had already, I was the current champion. So of course I had some expectations on myself. And I also felt like the community had expectations on me coming from the previous year being the winner. So the way they did it this year is that everybody essentially went at the same time. And so we had a bunch of people that were competing in this event. You start off on flat ground, and then you started off kind of going up a hill. And if any of you guys have ever seen the videos or pictures of Aromas, there's a flat area where a lot of competition go, and then it just kind of hits these hills that then turn pretty steep in some areas. So I'm going to get to the kind of like the crux of this story and what it meant to me, but I'm laying the framework here. So we start off, we do about a mile, 2 miles, maybe even 3 miles. It wasn't crazy. And at the time I was like right around the front middle of the pack-ish, right around where I thought I should be for a run type event. We then hit this steep climb, and I'll never forget this. I mean, we hit this climb, and I tried to like keep a jogging pace, even though it probably would have been faster to just like speed walk up this. My ego got in the way, and I just jogged it. So I'm already kind of feeling a little bit exhausted at that point. I was listening to Eminem and 50 Cent in my headphones. I was like telling myself I had to get pumped up when in reality, I didn't have to get pumped up for anything. I mean, just being in the competition would have pumped me up enough. So I'm climbing up this hill, and I'm already like kind of adrenaline dumping, right? I have all this loud music in my ears. I'm trying to, jog, but I should be speed walking. I go down this kind of area, this valley, and then you pop up the other side. And as you come up the other side, it got so steep that we were on all fours going up and around kind of like this flag before coming back down. All right. Maybe you had to touch the fence or something like that. And then you came back down. Side note, I ended up getting poison oak from that portion of the race because I was using my hands. So I ended up getting poison oak on my hands from that. But anyways, so I come back around and we start coming back down the hill. And at this point you'd be like, dude, all right, well, you made it like 3/4 of the way. Like you should be pretty good. But something happened internally. I've never had this experience. The following year I had something similar happen, but this year was really bad where my body has started to like shut down on me. I was mentally trying to push myself so much, and physically, I just couldn't keep up with that. I didn't have the earned confidence from running enough. I was just kind of mainly doing, 20-minute workouts, and they didn't carry over well for this particular event. So I'm coming down the hill, and I hit a flat area. And at the time, I just started feeling weird, man. Just really weird. And it was a combination of exhaustion, probably dehydration, mental fatigue, all these different things. I end up getting down and I black out. So I go down the hill, and then I kind of get to this bottom area, and boom, it is blackout. I end up on the ground. And this is where kind of like the story stands out to me. Up until that point, it would have just been, a tough event at the CrossFit Games. Okay, I've had many of those. But the fact that I actually, fell on the ground on my back, and then Dave Castro comes up to me. And, I probably was out for like, I don't know, 5 seconds, right? I mean, it felt like longer, but I wasn't out for a long time. I just fell on the ground and I was just exhausted. And I remember Dave comes up to me and he looks right down at me. And he just looks at me. He's like, "Hey, look, Jason, you could continue or not. The choice is yours, of course. But if you do not complete this event, your CrossFit Games are over." And he kind of just like let it be. Like he didn't force me to do anything. He just stated the facts. Like, hey, the facts are you can stop right now, no problem, but your CrossFit Games are over, or you can finish this event and you can continue on. And the reason why this story sticks out so much to me is that in life, there's like these little moments that happen where you're either going to decide, hey, am I going to break through and take the easy way or the hard way? Am I going to push through? Am I going to understand why I was there in the first place? Am I going to achieve what I set out for when I started this whole thing? And these moments creep up on you, right? Or in this case, it came at me like a freight train. And I had an instant decision to make. Do I want to fulfill the commitment I made to myself, to my family, to, others, or do I want to just give in? And at that moment, I chose to finish the race. So I ended up finding I got like a random person there, gave me a water bottle, poured it on myself. I locked in. I finished the event. I got last, but I finished it. And I ended up moving my way back up on the leaderboard and taking fifth that year. The reason why this is something so important to me is that when my back was up against the wall and I had a decision to make, continue or enjoy the comfort, right? Continue with this. I mean, the rest of the event was not easy for me, of course. The rest of the weekend was not easy for me. But was I going to choose the comfortable route or was I going to see what I was capable of? I chose to finish out the events. And that helped me for the rest of my career have this confidence that when my back was up against the wall, I chose to take the difficult route. I chose to stay in it. And I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't have said, yeah, I'm going to finish. I don't know. Would I have competed again for the next 8, 10 years? Probably not. I don't know. But I think that the kind of takeaway for everyone listening to this show right now is that when you really commit to something and you understand why you want to do it in the first place, right? There's going to be times throughout that event, that business venture, that you name it, that is going to get hard and it's going to get difficult, right? And you want to, instead of looking at them as like these terrible experiences that occur, look at them as an opportunity. There was this obstacle. The obstacle was I blacked out. I had a chance to, continue or not. And that obstacle I then overcame and completed. And by doing so, it built up my confidence so much that I knew I was doing the right thing for the right reason. I knew that I had an internal deep drive to finish out these events. And I ended up performing really well that year and subsequent years. And so if you're in the fight right now, you're going through something, right? I would look at these instead of things that are going to knock you on your ass. There are things that might knock you on your ass, but when you get back up from them, it'll just build your confidence even more that you're doing the right thing and you're in the right place at the right time. So that's kind of the spirit of this story this week. Was it really left a lasting impression on me because I don't know what else could have built my confidence more than having that experience, especially so early on in my career. Because coming off the win, I had a lot of perceived confidence, right? I thought like I was okay. I was like, okay, I won. That's fine. But this allowed me to earn the fact, like, yeah, when push came to shove, I'm doing something I love. I'm doing something I want to see what I'm capable of. And I have a strong enough why to push through those boundaries. And that was something I continue to lean on for the next, decade plus. So there's going to be some boundaries that are going to come up in whatever you're going through right now, currently, right? We're building Train Hard. And Train Hard is different than what we've built through NC Fit. Train Hard is in-person men's clubs. It's virtual calls. It's a digital program that hopefully one day tens of thousands, if not millions of men are involved in some way, shape, or form. And it's hard. And there's hurdles and there's speed bumps and there's moments of doubt for sure. But every time that I think about that moment of doubt, or when your back is up against the wall, every time you break through that, every time, it just builds your confidence more and more and more to know that you're doing the right thing. So whatever you got going on, just keep that in mind. There's my story from the 2009 CrossFit Games of just running up the hill. Hey, last little note on this is I told you I got poison oak on my hand. Well, my wife and I ended up getting married that following week, and I had poison oak for the wedding. So there's like a random CrossFit fact for you and to just share. So we got through that. We got through the 2009 CrossFit Games. I learned a lot through that experience. So whatever you got going on, you can make it through as well. And I got more stories to share. I got more things to talk about. There was a lot that I learned through the CrossFit Games and obviously throughout life as well. Go back and check out. The first one was some life lessons I learned in the hospital. Second one was business with Joe Gigantino. This one is Mr. Dave Castro and a gift that he gave me, which was giving me a choice. And I chose in my opinion, the right path. And that was really valuable for me. So thanks, Dave. Thank you to the CrossFit Games. Thank you to all of you guys for listening. Exciting news, right? Starting Monday the 23rd, we have the new Train Hard Daily. Every single day, I'm going to be doing these workouts alongside you guys. We'll be sharing our scores, diving into the community. So if you have not checked out the new version of the Train Hard app, check out the podcast show notes, jump on in there, join our training, and join me every day alongside our community. Keep getting after it.